Kind of creepy, but a new intro. Hello, friends. How are you today? Steve Welty here, broker owner, Good Life Property Management. Here to give you the take on rental property owner show for today. I'm going to play my own intro music for all those people in replay while we wait for the live people. I wake up in the morning, thank God I'm alive. It's another chance for me to be a part of the good life. All right, welcome everybody to the Rental Property Owner Show. Are you a rental property owner? Well, you're in the right place. Do you have one or more rental properties and you're running around crazy, not sure what to do or how to handle these situations? We're here to help you with all those situations that come up when you're owning rental property. So if you're tired of dealing with maintenance, bad tenants, and just overall general issues with your property, hey Dana McCullough, thanks for joining us. You're in the right place. So welcome to the Rental Property Owner Show. My name is Steve Welty, and I'm here to help you become a better rental property owner. And if you're watching in replay, I'd like to say thank you very much. So my goal is to help you live a better life, live a life improved, and own rental property without all the headaches so that you and your family can do the things you love. So we're gonna help give you some tips and tricks on how to best handle certain situations that come up in the hopes that it'll make your life easier, the tenant's life better, and we can overall create a better positive impact in the world. Isn't that right, Dana? All right, so today we're talking about managing the move out and what to do when the tenant gives you notice to vacate. That's usually when a lot of rental property owners will call us because it's, quote unquote easy for them if they don't hear from the tenant. Then once the tenant gives notice, they need to fill the vacancy and have a bunch of steps to go through to find a new tenant. So that's what I'm gonna go over with you today. So do me a favor, if you know someone that owns a rental property or would like to know about our show, please tag them in the comments. And as you're watching, if you have any questions or if you enjoy what you're seeing or have any feedback, please also comment. We love your comments. And if someone could benefit from this show, please tag them in the comments as well. We'll be doing this every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, trying to bring value to the rental property owner community. So we appreciate you guys who are watching this live and in replay. So it is possible to handle the whole move out process without it being a big pain and without ending up in court and the tenant's upset that you took too much of their security deposit and it's not clear what the guidelines were. So I'm gonna give you some tips today to help you manage that process. So when the tenant gives notice to vacate, there are 3 things you wanna make sure that you do. And the first is you wanna confirm receipt of their notice in writing, and then send them your move out guidelines, your move out instructions. So even if you have one rental property, you should have move out guidelines that go over the important things you want your tenant to do. For instance, you want to give them a breakdown of what the security deposit, what you want them to do as far as the repairs to the property and how you charge. Like, how do you charge for painting? How do you charge if the carpet is damaged? How do you charge for if they don't clean it well enough? So it's important that you let them know what your expectations are. Some owners don't want tenants to fill nail holes, for instance, in a wall. They just prefer to have their painter do it. So make sure you tell them what you want them to do. And then also in your move out guidelines, which are ours here, ours is about 3 or 4 pages. We also go over where do you want your deposit sent. So they need to make sure they give you a forwarding address or else you're not gonna know where to send their deposit. So make sure you ask for that. And then let them know if you offer them a final move out walkthrough. Some people will offer a final move out walkthrough. And then what do you want them to do with the keys? What do you want them to do with utilities? So they usually will turn them off the day their lease ends. So you need to make sure you have a system set up to keep your utilities on. And if there's an HOA, they need to make sure to schedule the move out with the HOA and make sure they use the correct movers if there's specific guidelines for movers. So it's also nice to provide them a copy of the rules and regulations for the HOA so they can make sure to abide by all of those rules. And also, so step 2, so that's step number 1, make sure you send them solid move out guidelines that goes over all the important things that they need to do when they move out and how to give possession of the property back to you. The second thing you want to do is schedule a pre-move out inspection with them if they request it. So in your move out guidelines, it should give them the option and let them know that they have the right to a pre-move out inspection. Now this is actually a law in California that the tenant must be warned that they have a right to a pre-move out inspection. So what you need to do is go to the property. The law says it has to be 2 weeks before they move out. So at least 2 weeks before they move out, you would go to the property and you'd go room by room and let them know what they need to do to get their security deposit back. So you might say you need to paint the walls in the living room. You need to have the house thoroughly cleaned and all trash removed. You need to replace this replace this doorknob, or maybe they upgraded the property and they didn't let you know, so they put in a fan or something, so you need to disassemble this fan. So all those things, if you don't tell the tenant in advance and then you charge their deposit, they can dispute it, and then you would be going to court for something very silly. So just make sure you offer that pre-move out inspection and you do that with them and go room by room. And number 3, and most important, is do not put the property on the market until the tenant moves out. Now this may come as a surprise for you, because in most people's eyes, as soon as the tenant gives notice, you want to put the property back on the market. But after doing this hundreds and hundreds of times, we've learned the best approach to get the most rent, get the best tenant, and make the most money on the long term over the whole course of the lease term. You want to wait until the tenant moves out. And here's why. When you show it when the tenant is in there, number 1, it inconveniences the tenant. Number 2, they're always perpetually moving. And even if they're not perpetually moving and there's boxes everywhere, the place usually is a little dirty, it's cluttered, it almost never shows well. So when you show a property that doesn't show well, you're not going to get as good of a rental price. And if you do rent it, you're not going to get as good of a tenant, because only the best tenants rent the best looking property. So you're going to get the type of tenant that matches up with your level of property condition. So again, the home's cluttered, it's not moved, it's not cleaned, they're perpetually moving. You're only going to get a tenant that would accept to rent a property in that condition, because the best tenants, they're going to go rent the house down the block that looks great, smells nice, and is in great condition. So also, when you show it occupied, how do you know how much time to leave between the tenant moves out and the new tenant moves in? You might think, oh, it doesn't need much, a little paint, I'll do a week. But then you get in there and you find some leak under the sink that you didn't know about, because you can't do a thorough inspection when a tenant still lives there. So you end up having to push it back, the move-in date, and that can cause problems. The other reason is when tenants view the property when a tenant lives there, they always assume mentally, that the property is going to be like perfect when they get the keys. Because picture yourself, right? You're looking at a property that's lived in, and then when you go to move in the property, you're going to picture it's Shangri-La, right? But then you're upset at move-in because you notice there's some stains on the carpet that you didn't see because there was a couch there. And the blinds that you thought were going to stay were actually the tenants. And so that's upsetting. And all these things can go wrong. So you eliminate the chance of issues happening when you show a property in the same condition that you're gonna get it in. Thank you, Olivia, I appreciate that. Because when you show the property in the condition they're gonna get it in, then there's no chance for issues because they saw the property in the condition they're gonna get it in. So that's tip number 3. And by the way, if you would like a copy of these move out instructions, thanks, Crystal, appreciate that. I will send you a copy of these move out instructions. Just DM the Facebook page with your email, and we'll make sure to send them over. It has a lot of great information, and you can take what you like and leave what you don't and make it yours. But that's what that is. So we've worked with many clients who they come to us because they were tied up in court over a deposit dispute, and they're just frustrated, and it sucks all this time and energy from them because they're like fighting back and forth with the tenant over these repairs, and it keeps them up at night. Whereas if they had a professional handle it, or if they just knew what they were doing and set the guidelines with the tenant a little better in the move out guidelines, then they would have been able to avoid these issues. We've taken over many properties from owners who have these issues, and then they're just like so relieved because they're able to sleep well at night and not worry when they have a tenant that gives them a move out, because all they do now is we just let them know, hey, the tenant gave notice and we're handling all this stuff. And so that makes the world a little bit better for them. So 3 things to do again when the tenant gives notice. Number 1, confirm receipt of their notice and send them your move out instructions. Number 2 is schedule a pre-move out inspection. Now, it is an optional inspection, so if the tenant doesn't want it, you don't have to do it, but make sure you give them the option and do it if they request it. And 3, do not put the property on the market until the tenant moves out and you fixed it up, because only the best tenants rent only the best properties. So you're not going to get the best tenant at the best price if you wait, or if you show it while the tenant still lives there and it doesn't look well. All right, well, thank you so much for that comment, the Salures. Appreciate you watching. And so finally, if you're struggling with any of the things we talked about, if you have a rental property or know someone that has a rental property that would like some advice, we're always here to help. And we can handle that whole tenant move out transition for only $395. It's a great value when you sign up for full service property management. So I like the saying, buy back some of your time at a discount. Look at what your time's worth, and if you can't do this or you don't have the time to do it, then we'd love to take care of it for you. Thanks, The Fostered. I love that. Thanks for your comments. And let us know if we can help you or if you have any questions. By handing management over to a professional, you can sleep a lot easier at night, or we can just be here to be a resource for you if you want to do it yourself and have the time. So thanks so much for watching, and make it a great day.